Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Sunday. Here we go with the weekly reading then. So this is where I'm going to pull 7 cards to represent the 7 days ahead, and we're going to see what the week has in store. I always extend this reading on my YouTube. I use a second deck, I get some oracle cards, and we get into more details of what's going on. So you can find me there under Microblonde Tarot, or all of my links are in my bio. So let's see what is going on for the week ahead. Let's see. Okay. So we have 4 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, and King of Pentacles. Okay, loads of Pentacles. 5 out of the 7 days are Pentacles. So Pentacles represent home, family, stability, security, finances, work, career, things like that. So this could be where the focus of the energy mostly, lays this week, depending what we've got going on. So opening with the 4 of Pentacles, as you can see, she's kind of holding on to these Pentacles. So this can sometimes represent saving or trying to establish a sense of stability. But sometimes when we hold on to things too tightly, it actually ends up being detrimental. So sometimes this can be a message about, it's like a need for control or trying to control everything, but actually being more open or looking at something more freely may actually be more useful for you. So for some of you, it could be that you're saving up for something, that you're putting every single spare penny away, but maybe the the other side of that coin, as it were, is that you're not really enjoying life, that you're not really using any of that money to actually enjoy yourself or to enjoy life, or you're trying to control too many factors at once or something like that. It can sometimes also be a message about kind of not being greedy or not kind of holding on to everything for yourself, but that's usually not the case. Okay, day 2, the 8 of Wands. So the 8 of Wands is about communication. It's one of the strongest communication and action cards within the tarot. So it could be on Tuesday that there is a really useful conversation. It could be that you hear from someone or you hear back about something. This can be a phone call, a message, an email, but it's usually incoming and it's usually positive. But obviously when we clarify using the second deck, we will see a little bit more what it could be related to. So if you're waiting to hear back about a job or an offer that you've put on a property, or from a friend or from an ex or from somebody, this is a good indication that, Tuesday, Wednesday may be a good time for that. Day 3, the 10 of Pentacles. So the 10 of Pentacles represents completion. And it can represent family. Okay, so having it all. Sometimes for me, the Pentacles represent that it's taken a long time to get somewhere, because the Pentacles are a slower energy. So the 10 of Cups is faster than the 10 of Pentacles, but they both represent happiness and completion. For me, the 10 of Pentacles represents family gatherings, spending time with family. Sometimes it's family relocating to be closer, or the family expanding in some way. So there could be a new addition to the family. There could be something to celebrate within the family. So it is positive and it is completion, and being able to sort of finally sit back and realize that you've achieved something that maybe has taken a very long time. Sometimes it can represent like a new home and things like that, but usually for me it's something well established. Within relationships, it can represent, the completion, moving in together, marriage, that kind of thing, family, starting a family, those kind of messages. Day 4, the Queen of Swords. So the Swords energy is all around thinking and analysing. It is quite an analytical energy. It's air sign energy as well. So it could be that towards the end of the week, you're thinking, a lot about something. You're trying to get a plan of action. You're trying to figure something out. Sometimes it's like the cogs turning, trying to get clarity, trying to find answers. The Queen of Swords sometimes gets a bad rap, that she's a bit cold or distant or harsh. And yes, that can be the case. But the heart is still there. It's just saying at this point, whatever this is that's on your mind, you're better to face it with logic than emotion. Okay, so try to take emotion out of it if you're facing a decision or trying to make a plan, and actually try to lead with your logical mind instead. Then we get another queen. Day 5, we get the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is a very nurturing energy. She's kind of Mother Earth energy, but she also represents success. Success within work, success within career, establishing herself, financial abundance, financial stability. So it could be that there's some kind of news, you know, around a work promotion, or it could be that you've got a bonus, or there's some kind of spare money, or again, she is an energy of sort of being able to sit back and enjoy the rewards of your hard work. She does indicate, though, she does indicate success, she does indicate abundance, she does indicate wealth. So those are good things to keep in mind as well. Then in the middle, which is day 4, 5, 6, he's not been out for a while. The Knight of Pentacles, this is the one that we always say is so slow, he's going backwards, because he could get on the horse, but he's choosing to walk instead. So the Knight of Pentacles represents caution, okay, or slow moving energy. So it could be that towards the weekend, things feel like they're not moving, things are very slow, or it can be a message that you need to approach something cautiously, or you need to slow down, okay? It could even be that there is some kind of action incoming or some kind of change, but it's very, very slow. And then Sunday, we get the King of Pentacles. So to me, it's interesting that we get the King and the Queen, and in the middle, the Knight, because the Queen of Pentacles can represent mother. The King of Pentacles can represent father. They both can represent like wife and husband as well. But the King of Pentacles, he's sitting back. He's kind of comfortable. He's got a nice home. He's got his dog. Wasn't sure if it was a dog or a wolf. Got a dog beside him, and he's kind of enjoying his life. But the King of Pentacles is very wise and very knowledgeable. So it can represent an older or wiser male energy around you that is worth kind of seeing or talking to or taking advice from, particularly financial advice or business advice. And sometimes it can represent that the King of Pentacles wants to invest in you, you know, maybe wants to give you money, maybe wants to invest in business. It can represent business partnerships and things like this. But we've got mother, father and family. So this week could just be a very important week or a very positive week for family matters. Nothing major, you know, no major change, no major chaos. I'm going to clarify and just get a little bit more information using the second deck. So if you can stick around or head over to YouTube, please do. If not, I'll see you soon. Okay, let's clarify this then. Starting with the 4 of Pentacles. As I said, this can be around saving money or trying to control your finances. Or sometimes it could be that you need to be a little bit more free with your money or with your generosity, because it's not always having to be financial. Let's see. Justice. The 9 of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Okay, so justice is an interesting one, because often this can represent that you feel that you've been treated unfairly. You're trying to regain maybe control of a situation, but other times this can actually be legal matters, and it could well be that this is where the financial aspect comes into it. Maybe you're waiting for money that you're owed. Maybe you're waiting for a settlement. Maybe you're waiting for you know, a court case to be determined. If that is the case, it would represent good outcomes, positive outcomes, but maybe you've had to spend a lot before you get that back, you know, fees and things like that, because there is a fear here or an anxiety. But it is saying with the Queen of Cups, it's got you feeling a bit emotionally kind of fragile. But I would say whatever this is, even if it's like investing money in a property, because justice can be contracts, paperwork, red tape, things like that, things will work out, things will come into balance, and there are good indications that your fear will pass, because there will be some kind of shift in your favour. Okay, the 8 of Wands. Everyone loves the 8 of Wands, particularly if they're waiting to hear from a person or an ex, or, you know, whatever it may be. Let's see why we've got the 8 of Wands here. I think it came out last week as well. Oh, wow. 8 of Wands clarified by the 8 of Wands. A lot of communication, or very sudden, unexpected communication from a King of Cups. Interesting. The King of Cups is the king that holds the emotion, the feelings, the love, the expression of something. So I would say that there is likely to be communication from somebody that wants to express how they've been feeling, how they do feel. Maybe they're ready to sort of open up a little bit more, because sometimes the King of Cups is holding the Ace of Cups, holding the love, the emotion, the feelings, but not yet ready. But this would suggest that this person is now ready to say something. They've been weighing it up, or, you know, trying to make a choice or a decision, but they're stepping into this Emperor energy. So they're taking control, they're stepping into their masculine, and they're going to very likely communicate. Okay. It could even be someone that's already got feelings for you, or you've had a relationship with, or it could be that if you're in a relationship, there's an important conversation about the next step, the next thing. It's not always someone returning. It can be a current situation where there's an important conversation. Okay, the 10 of Pentacles. So family, stability, completion. Let's see, the 10 of Pentacles. The 3 of Cups, celebration within the home, within the family. Sometimes not directly just your family, but the wider family. The Page of Cups, news. And then the 6 of Cups, something that's been kind of brewing for a while. The 6 of Cups can represent longevity or the past. Celebrations, coming together, raising a glass, raising a toast. It could be that you've been waiting a long time. So for example, it could be celebrating moving into a new home, celebrating a new arrival, as we said at the beginning. But it's news, and it's news that is needed because it feels like there's been some sort of emotional upset or turmoil. But this news is healing in some way, or this celebration is healing in some way. So that's interesting. Okay, Queen of Swords, day 4. You're being asked to use your logic over your emotion. But what about? What is this about? Let's see. Okay, you got Queen of Swords clarified by the Queen of Swords. So you're very much, maybe you are in a bit of a cold energy. It looks to me with this Page of Swords like you've gained some sort of information. The Page of Swords is like the investigator in the tarot, the knowledge seeker. You may have found something out, you may have seen something, heard something, or gathered some kind of information. And the High Priestess shows here that it kind of reinforced your intuition. Things that were unknown or you weren't sure of, that your intuition was telling you, now become confirmed. The reason you're being asked to use your logic over your emotion is because you're being asked to wait and not be reactive about something. The 4 of Wands is an interesting one because sometimes this can be linked to twin flame connections, and other times this is to do with celebration or news. But I wonder if this is like someone around you that you've seen something about that's kind of triggered you, because there's something here about closure. Whatever this is, it's brought closure, or you feel that it's closed a chapter, or you feel that it feels like maybe you feel like you've still got something left to say, or you want to say something about what you found out. Because the Queen of Swords, she doesn't mince her words. She's very direct. She can be taken as harsh or straight talking, but it's like you've seen something that has validated your intuition, that has kind of proven something that you've been feeling for a while. And it's like a sense of wanting closure and needing to say something about it. But still the message remains the same. Whatever this is, you need to be kind of a little bit cool and calm and logical, and not give away too much emotions or get lost or overtaken in your emotions, okay? Okay, Queen of Pentacles, day 5. Why are you here? Queen of Pentacles, this is earth energy. Earth energy, the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Wands, and the 8 of Cups. Okay, this is a message about walking away from something that has not been working or not been kind of fulfilling you, and then walking towards something, because we've got the 8 and the 9, coming away from the 8, which is not working or not fulfilling you, and moving towards the 9, which fulfillment, happiness, positivity. And with the 9 of Wands here, this can be about perseverance. So I think for a lot of you with this Pentacles energy, this is about moving away from a workplace situation or a family situation. But I think for some reason it just feels a little bit more work related. Five of Swords. It's like, instead of keep battling something, it's time to just let it go, because actually you're sort of fighting a losing battle, or you're not going to be fulfilled where you are. So basically this is time for change. But I think this is time for change within your career or your work environment, because you've had to defend yourself and you feel like you shouldn't have had to defend yourself, or you no longer have the will to fight something. I think it's time for a change, okay? And when you make the change, you will actually be happier and more fulfilled, and maybe even more financially abundant. Okay, Knight of Pentacles, day 6. Our friend on the snail. What is he here for? The Queen of Wands, the Six of Pentacles. This feels to me that somebody that you used to talk to, or that you used to have some sort of exchange with, left you out in the cold. This feels like maybe a no contact situation, or that you were getting on really well with someone and then they disappeared. And it feels like this is very, very slow moving. It wouldn't surprise me if this person reappears in some way. Perhaps this is the communication at the beginning of the week. But you're in this Queen of Wands energy, which is very vibrant and very confident and very magnetic. And it feels to me that you've already started a new journey. So I don't think that this is really going to change anything. But it feels like if you have been dealing with somebody that you just, weren't getting anywhere with, they may decide to somehow, resurface at that time. Or somebody that you've just kind of moved on from and like even forgotten about, they may not even still be kind of on your mind, decides to kind of pop up, I guess. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles. This is something you invested in ages ago. And it's almost like now they're ready to pick it up where it left off. And you're like, what do you mean? Like, I forgot about you. All right, day 7, the King of Pentacles. So many Pentacles this week. Was it all of Swords last week? There was one week where we had nearly all of one of them. The Five of Wands, the Empress, the Star, and the Eight of Swords. Okay, this is someone that wants to step in. This King of Pentacles wants to step in and remind you of your Empress energy. So this can be husband and wife. The Empress can be taken as partner or wife. The Star is about healing and hope. But the Empress can also be around sort of pregnancy and motherhood. And as I said, King of Pentacles can represent father. There could be some kind of good news here with the Star. Hope, it's like don't give up hope. There's healing, there's calm after the storm, because the Star follows the Tower. So if there's been a falling out or a problem or some sort of battle, because we've got the Five of Wands here, challenges, conflict, maybe even anger or upset. The Eight of Swords is kind of like, stress and anxiety. There's something that's about to pass, but this is linked into the King of Pentacles. So wiser, sometimes older or mature male energy, often family or, partner or husband, where there's a really positive shift, and this person has really been stable and lending their support and lending their advice. And this is actually really gonna help. It could be financial with the Four of Pentacles. It could be financial. If you've been struggling, somebody may step in to help, or things may turn around, within the partnership to put you both on a better financial footing, because we've got King and Queen. But as I've picked that up, I've got new arrivals. So I wonder if some of you this week, there is news of new family members or new arrivals, children, that kind of thing. Okay, let's just pull a few more oracle cards. It's not a particularly energetic week really, but maybe not every week needs to be like that. Maybe we need a little bit of calm in between the storms. Passion, desire and fantasy, feminine energy. We got fake and illusions, and look closely because not everything is as it seems. So there could be some kind of revelation this week, or it could be that something you were assuming was not the case. I think this could be linked to that day 4 where there's information gathered or knowledge gained. Remember, this is where we're saying it brings closure and to act from sort of cool and calm energy than reactive energy. Stay in that feminine, passion, desire and fantasy. So there could be something you feel more passionately about this week you decide to pursue. Could be new connections romantically. We got this last week, I'm sure. Rebound, casual. And on the bottom, we've got expect changes from a masculine energy, and we've also got loyalty. So I don't know if someone's going to sort of turn around and change their attitude and take things more seriously. But this is what we have. Have a great week and let me know.